Good evening and welcome to this evening's performance. My name is Austin Okibo. I'm the Associate Professor of Ethnomusicology here in the College of Music and the current Interim Director of the American Music Research Center. Before we start, may I remind everybody to please, this event is being live streamed, so I will encourage you to please turn off your phones and resist the temptation of trying to record it. Okay. Just for a quick introduction of what this performance tonight is all about. Since 2021, the American Music Research Center has been engaged in an ongoing research project in Pueblo. It is an oral history project that aims to capture Pueblo's unique musical and cultural history. The AMRC is grateful to have had our research supported by the National Endowment for the Humanities, the CU Boulder Office of Research and Innovation, and the CU Boulder Office of Outreach and Engagement. That grant funding is allowing us to continue working with Pueblo communities through 2025. The resulting archive of oral histories will be publicly accessible through the digital libraries of both the University of Colorado and the Colorado State University in Pueblo. Neither the AMRC project in Pueblo nor tonight's concert would have happened without the advocacy of Deborah Espinoza. A co-producer of the Song of Pueblo, along with her husband, Juan Espinoza. They're all seated here. Susan Thomas, the former director of the AMRC, first met the Espinozas shortly after her arrival in Colorado in 2018. In that first meeting, Deborah extolled the historical and cultural importance of Pueblo and southern Colorado in the state's and the nation's history, and also spoke about composer Daniel Valdez's oratorio, Song of Pueblo, first produced in 2008 for History Colorado. She mentioned that it had always been a goal to have the work performed with an orchestra. And so in 2021, the AMRC was fortunate to receive a grant from the Rosa Visiting Artists Fund that allowed us to orchestrate the work and perform concerts both here and in Pueblo, where we premiered this new version last Saturday. It is also important to note that as a key initiative of the CU Boulder American Music Research Center, the Soundscapes of the People project and the related Song of Pueblo performances demonstrate the College of Music's universal musician mission by combining academic research, music performance, and community engagement. The result is a rich collaboration among our faculty and students, both young performers and researchers, as well as diverse scholars and performers outside of the College of Music, like the El Pueblo Ensemble that you'll hear tonight. It is equally in line with the University of Colorado's mission as the state's flagship to provide services and to stay engaged with Colorado's diverse communities. You are in for a real treat tonight. Tonight's performance is a showcase of College of Music talent at its finest. The orchestration that you will hear was created by two recent College of Music alumni, Dr. Max Wolpert and Elan Blanc. The impressive student talent forming the CU Boulder Chamber Orchestra will be heard under the baton of another recent alumna, Dr. Renee Gilliland. You are also going to get to hear some incredible Pueblo musical talent in the El Pueblo Ensemble. And I hope it encourages you to drive down to Pueblo for a weekend to hear more of what the city has to offer. There are a lot of people we need to thank for their work making this a reality. Juan and Deborah Espinoza, whom I have already mentioned a moment ago, Renee Gilliland, who directs the orchestra tonight, Director of Orchestra here at CU College of Music, Gary Lewis, the Dean of the College of Music, John Davis, AMRC Assistant, Catherine Bistodo, College of Music staff, especially Kevin Harbison, Dustin Ramsey, and Kerry Howard, Filmmaker Justin Breger and his crew who filmed the dress rehearsal and Saturday's performance for a future broadcast. Sound engineer Dan Harlem for making everyone sound fabulous tonight. We thank you. And before I leave, I have the pleasure also to mention the original composer of this work, Daniel Valdez, for his trust and collaboration in allowing us to create this new version of his work. I now invite him to give a few words before we start. Mr. Valdez.
Thank you very much. It's a dream come true. You know, I can't say enough about all the people who've been involved in making this dream come true. But I'd like to dedicate this show to the people of Pueblo and the history of Pueblo, because we couldn't have done it without them. It's something that is close to my heart, but more than anything, it shows the diversity of our country and the fact that so many immigrants and people came to Colorado to establish this wonderful country that we live in. So I thank you. I thank all the players and everyone who's involved. Enjoy.
Sing, we sing, tonight we bring the song of Pueblo, the people's town. In this place that history shaped, we honor Pueblo, the people's town. Oh, to those who came before from different lands and distant shores, to live their lives and plant their dreams, they came to Pueblo, the people's town. The wind remembers the stories of the peoples of the plains, the Utes, Comanche, Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Apache. All hunted buffalo, all gave thanks to grandfather for the horse. The sun saw Frenchmen come to trade, and the Spanish who carried their cross came in search of gold. Families came to live along the river, and the water sings their song, the song of Pueblo. Through the years of strife and tears, they found a way to persevere. So sing So let our song tell the story of our town for those who lived and for those yet born. So sing, we sing tonight. We bring the song of Pueblo, the people's town. The song of Pueblo, the people's town. Our story begins with the Comanches, warriors on the open plains. Their chief was a fierce leader who wore a buffalo headdress and one horn was tinted green. His name was Cuerno Verde. Cuerno Verde had no pity for the Spanish because they killed his father. And for many years, wars and raiding by the Comanches is the scourge of the Spanish settlements. Taking goods and horses, Cuerno Verde exacts his revenge until the Spanish enlist the help of General Juan Bautista de Anza and his army of 600 men. This is the story of vengeance and glory to men who were destined to meet. One Spanish general, de Anza by name, the other a Comanche chief. Chief Cuerno Verde, warrior and leader, vowed to resist Spanish rule. Pillaged their pueblos, evaded their soldiers, making them all look like fools. Then came Juan Bautista de Anza with his army of 600 men, who vowed to kill Cuerno Verde and bring an end to his reign. La la la, 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 days turned to weeks as he chased Cuerno Verde, relentlessly tracking him down through the Sangre de Cristo mountain range, through the ice, the cold, and the snow. At last, when they passed the place they'll call Pueblo, he camped by the river St. Charles, where the Anza would meet his nemesis and kill him or die. Fate would tell. Then at dawn, the battle cry sounded. Everywhere the warriors ran into bushes and gullies and canyons, where they stopped to make their last stand. Chief Cuerno Verde, warrior and leader, died like a warrior that day at the hands of the man who'd claim revenge so history could tell to this day. La la la, 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 1906, Lieutenant Zebulon Pike rode through the shadow of the Mexican mountains and forever changed the West. El Camino Real and the Santa Fe Trail became one, and the brothers Bent, Charles and William, built the biggest and best trading post, and it was called Bent's Fort. In 1842, El Pueblo Trading Post was built on what was then the U.S.-Mexico border. Partners in trade and blood, with ties to both countries, come to the edge of the Arkansas River to build El Pueblo. Some knives. You want how much? A pill or two. How about tobacco? If you're looking where to trade, there's no place no better made than El Pueblo, the old trading post. You can barter robes and belts, trade for staples off the shelf. There's no better place to get the things you want. A pound of this. Throw in some blankets. I need some beads. How much is that? How many clothes? If you're looking where to trade, there's no place no better made than El Pueblo, the old trading post. You can barter robes and belts, trade for staples off the shelf. There's no better place to get the things you want. Indigenous, American, and Mexican traders come and go from El Pueblo Trading Post, which was located on the U.S. side of the Arkansas River. Men from Taos built the trading post out of adobe, and women came with their partners to El Pueblo and brought comfort and tradition. There were milk cows, crops were planted and harvested, children grew and learned, doing their chores and playing games. Yet, life in this remote trading post could be lonely and uneventful. The community would plan fandangos as the arrival of visitors with news would call for feasting long into the night, where the fiddle played and the people danced their worries away. Strum me a song and we'll come along to the Founders Fandango tonight. We'll promenade with bows and sachets as we dance to the music's delight. El Pueblo was founded by many, depending on whom you should ask. There's Fisher and Simpson, Beckworth, Kincaid, Bartley and Kahn, and then there's also someone who would argue there must have been women there too. So strum me a song and we'll come along to the Founders Fandango tonight. We'll promenade with thousand sachets as we dance to the music's delight. The people of Pueblo were hardy. They did what they could to survive. Despite all the hardships of illness and drought, they managed to just stay alive. So come all you trappers and traders, Mormons and Mexicans too. Come to the Founders Fandango, and there'll be a place there for you. So strum me a song, and we'll come along to the Founders Fandango tonight. We'll promenade with thousand sachets as we dance to the music. Yes, dance to the music. We'll dance to the music tonight. In 1846, a new group of Americans came to El Pueblo Trading Post. They were members of the Mormon Church who were moving west. The sick and weary travelers spent the winter at El Pueblo before continuing west in search of their promised land. In the late spring, the Mormon families leave their friends at El Pueblo Trading Post to continue their march over the Rocky Mountains and into Utah. The indigenous and Mexican women who accompany their men to El Pueblo also bring family alliances and time-tested resourcefulness. They bring comfort and culture to the banks of the Arkansas from their childhood villages far away. One among them, Teresita Sandoval, is remembered above all others as the matriarch of El Pueblo. Alexander Barkley, an English trader, is awestruck by her beauty and writes of her in his journal.
belong to someone else. From that day on, I vowed to wait, and I'd wait an eternity to have her by my side. I only knew her name was Teresita. I didn't know she belonged to someone else. From that day on, I vowed to wait, and I'd wait an eternity to have her by my side. As time passed on, my love grew stronger. I drew her picture to recall her face. My heart still yearns for her reply, and I'll wait an eternity until she's truly mine. I only knew her name was Teresita. I didn't know she belonged to someone else. My heart still yearns for her reply, and I'll wait an eternity until she's truly mine. And I'll wait an eternity until she's truly mine. My Teresita.
When the Mexican-American War is over, Mexico loses its northern territories to the United States. All of the land north of the Arkansas River begins to be settled by U.S. citizens. For the natives who lost their land, buffalo were disappearing and smallpox was spreading throughout the people. Treaties were broken and people were sick and hungry. Christmas 1854, angry Ute warriors began raiding El Pueblo trading post for horses, food, and guns. Holiday celebrations turned to mourning for those left dead, and 2 boys and a woman who were taken from the post and never heard from again.
¡Échenle orquesta!
1854. Una tragedia muy triste ocurrió. Por la mañana de la Nochebuena, en el pueblo más de uno murió. Vino el indio Tierra Blanca, pidiendo permiso, queriendo entrar. Y cuando no dieron pasada la entrada, comenzaron al pueblo a atacar. Mataron a don Benito, capturando los hijos de él, y junto con Chepita Miera, a los 3 se llevaron también. Y cuando al fin ya se fueron, dejando los muertos y heridos atrás, no quedó nadie en el pueblo, ni siquiera para reportar. Ya con esta me despido, pidiendo una cosa no más, que este humilde corrido sirve para recordar. Indigenous people continue to endure unspeakable suffering. Chief Black Kettle, leader of the Cheyenne, only wants peace and to protect his people. But Cheyenne dog soldiers find themselves in near constant conflict with white settlers and U.S. soldiers. Yet, as the sun rose on November 29th, 1864, Colonel John Shivington's men surprised a sleeping village of Cheyenne people. Despite being under the white flag of surrender, Shivington ordered his men to attack, massacring men, women, and children. On a cold winter dawn, as I lay fast asleep, I awoke to the sound I shall never forget. First the earth shook with sounds of thunder, then I heard my Run, my child, run away. Don't wander. Don't look back. Don't you stop. In the creek you must hide until I'm by your side. From the creek bed where I hid, I saw death dancing free. Then the air filled with smoke as they fell to their knees. I saw children without their mothers. I saw the old ones drop and fall. Every place that people huddled, every place where they stood, be they old, be they small, the blue coats killed them all. I hear the bullets flying, I see my people dying, no one to tell me this is war. I see my people running, I see the soldiers gunning. I had no chance to say goodbye. In silence do I cry. I hear the bullets flying, I see my people dying, no one to tell me this is war. I see my people running, I see the soldiers gunning, I had no chance to say goodbye. In silence do I cry. Now the wind sings this song as the death drum plays along. And as long as I live, I shall never, never forget. For Sand Creek must be remembered for that cold November day when a great and peaceful people were cut down where they stood for a trust so betrayed, a promise never Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to take a 15-minute intermission. stake claims. Others envision what could be. General William Jackson Palmer becomes the driving force behind Colorado Springs and selects a mesa overlooking Pueblo for his town, his corona and crown accomplishment. A man of foresight, he sees railroads, smelters, and men making steel. Palmer's vision and industry comes to town on a rail.
In 1841, the corduroy breeches I put on, the corduroy breeches I put on to work upon the railway. Timmery-oory-oory-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. In 1842, I didn't know what I should do. I didn't know what I should do to work upon the railway. Timmery-oory-oory-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. In 1843, I took a trip across the sea. I took a trip across the sea to work upon the railway. Timmery-oory-oory-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. In 1844, I landed on Columbia shore. I landed on Columbia shore to work upon the railway. Timmery-oory-oory-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. In 1845, when Daniel O'Connell was alive, when Daniel O'Connell was alive, he worked upon the railway. Timmery-oory-oory-ay, 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 to work upon the railway. In 1846, I changed my trade to carrying bricks, changed my trade to carrying bricks from working on the railway. Timmery-oory-oory-ay, 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 to work upon the railway, the railway, the railway, to work upon the railway.
The frontier era faded as gold camps and mountain towns boomed with prospectors hoping to strike it rich. People grew in Pueblo from a trading post into a town with courthouses, churches, businesses, and schools.
We formed our band and are well met to journey afar to the promised land, where the golden ore is rich in store in the peaks of Colorado. Then ho, boys, ho, to Colorado go. There's plenty of gold in the world, I'm told, in the peaks of Colorado. So don't you cry or give a sigh, for we'll all come back again by and by. Don't breathe a fear or shed a tear, but patiently wait for about 2 years. Then oh boys, ho, to Colorado go. There's plenty of gold in the world, I'm told, in the peaks of Colorado. Well, the gold is there most anywhere. Dig it up with an iron bar, and where it's thick with a spade or pick, take out lumps as heavy as a brick. Then oh boys, ho, to Colorado go. There's plenty of gold in the world, I'm told, in the peaks of Colorado. As we explore this distant shore, we'll fill our pockets with the shining ore. And how it sounds as the word goes round, picking up gold by the dozen pound. Then oh boys, ho, to Colorado go. There's plenty of gold in the world, I'm told, in the peaks of
another leader that helped make Pueblo the steel-making giant of the West. Workers were needed by the thousands to work the furnaces at the CF&I steel mill, the coal mines, the farms, and the railroads.
This 9-pound hammer, it's a little too heavy for my size. Well, for my size, I'm going to the mountain, I'm gonna see my baby, but I ain't coming back. No, I ain't coming back. Roll on, buddy.
Roll on, buddy.
Don't you roll so slow.
Don't you roll so slow.
Just how can I roll
How can I roll
when the wheels won't go? Roll on, buddy.
Roll on, buddy.
Pull your load of coal.
Pull your load of coal.
How can I pull
How can I pull
when the wheels won't roll? It's a long way to Harlan, it's a long way to Hazard, just to get a little room, just to get a little room. Now when I'm long gone, you can take my tombstone out of number 9 coal, out of number 9 coal. Roll on, buddy.
Roll on, buddy.
Don't you roll so slow.
Don't you roll so slow.
Just how can I roll
How can I roll?
when the wheels won't go? I said, roll on, buddy.
Roll on, buddy.
Pull your load of coal.
Pull your load of coal.
How can I pull
How can I pull?
when the wheels won't roll? How can I pull when the wheels won't roll?
Cowboys rounded up longhorn cattle and drove them across the plains to rail centers like Pueblo to be shipped to bigger markets. Charlie Goodnight and Oliver Loving are famous cattlemen who started the Goodnight Loving Trail. Goodnight makes his headquarters along the Arkansas River, and the barn still stands today. Cowboys, black, indigenous, Mexican, and white, etch an indelible image and legacy on the land.
Now come along, boys, and listen to my tale. Tell you the troubles on a good night trail. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay. I started up the trail October 23rd. Left old Texas with the 2 you heard. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay. On a $10 horse and a $20 saddle, I'm gonna punch them longhorn cattle. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay. Woke up one morning on the good night trail with a rope in my hand and a cow by the tail. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay. Hee-haw! Well, I crippled up my horse and I don't know how. Roping up the horns of a 2U cow. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay. Well, we rounded them up and we put them on the cars. That was the last of the 2U bars. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay. Then I went to the boss for to draw my roast. Said I was over $10 in the hole. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay. So I sold old Baldy and I hung out my saddle. And I bid farewell to the longhorn cattle. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Come a tie, yippee, yippee, yay.
In a place called Ludlow, coal miners take a stand for safety in the mines, better working conditions, and a fair share of the wealth their labor produces. Strike and strife mark an era that erupts into a war. Mother Jones, the United Mine Workers organizer, leads protests, and, as in all wars, innocent lives succumb to bullets and fire by militia. Among the 45 dead, 32 are women and children. Louis Tikas, Greek union organizer, is martyred. And over the graves at Ludlow, a new day rises, and people remember the call for unions to protect the people from big business. In 1918, a monument was placed at Ludlow for the miners who lost their lives. During the ceremony, Frank J. Hayes, President of the United Mine Workers of America and future Lieutenant Governor of Colorado, read this poem. Deep the thoughts we cannot say, deep the love that sweeps today here on Ludlow Field. We know them, everyone, father, mother, daughter, son. Oh, the course of life was wrong here on Ludlow Field. Here a tinted city rose, wide as yonder mountain snows. Tints of freemen rose and rose here on Ludlow Field. was an important institution in the West, especially in Pueblo. 125 different newspapers have been published in Pueblo, and 26 of those being in a foreign language. The first one, in 1868, reported Kit Carson's death, and that paper, started by Michael Bashore, became the Pueblo Chieftain. Well, in those days, many newsboys or newsies got their first job selling newspapers on street corners.
Headlines, we're gonna shout it. Headlines, no doubt about it. Headlines, we're bringing the news to you. Headlines, we're gonna shout it. Headlines, read all about it. Headlines, we're bringing the news to you. 1869 and Pueblo is growing. The population nearly doubles in 1 year. Headlines, we're gonna shout it. Headlines, no doubt about it. Headlines, we're bringing the news to you. February 5th, 1874, Pueblo is to become the capital of the territory. I think we're big time now. Headlines, we're gonna shout it. Headlines, no doubt about it. Headlines, we're bringing the news to you.
A company is being organized to build a flour mill in South Pueblo that will turn out 200 barrels of flour a day.
That's a lot of dough.
That's a lot of tortillas.
Headlines, we're gonna shout it. Headlines, no doubt about it. Headlines, we're bringing the news to you.
July 1st, 1874, look out for the locomotive! Rail connection with the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Trail, Kansas Pacific Line are very promising.
Headlines, we're gonna shout it. Headlines, no doubt about it. Headlines, we're bringing the news to you.
South Pueblo to get a water canal. The project gives $75,000 to bring in this water.
Headlines, we're gonna shout it. Headlines, no doubt about it. Headlines, we're bringing the news to you. Headlines, we're gonna shout it. Headlines, read all about it. Headlines, we're bringing the news to you.
Streets began to bustle as the city thrived. Where there used to be groves of cottonwoods, Union Avenue became a place of beautiful buildings. The streets were filled with people doing their daily shopping, and children ran along the streets while vendors sold produce. Wagons made room for automobiles and trolleys, and everywhere, business was booming. Colorado needed workers. And a wave of humanity responded to recruiters and words of wealth in America. The young stream of humanity made its way to southern Colorado to work in the foundries, mills, and fields. The immigrants brought only what they could carry, as well as their homeland cultures, to enrich the diversity of our land. The train depots teemed with the arrival of laborers, brides-to-be, and families from the old country, all speaking different languages and hoping to see a familiar face. Many of them found homes in the neighborhoods with names like Salt Creek, Pepper Sauce Bottom, Mexican Town, Goat Hill, and Elm Street. Little did the people of Pueblo know that life in 1921 was about to change drastically. After months of drought, there came a torrent of rain. In a few days, the river overflowed. In one building, in the path of the rushing water, brave telephone operators stayed to warn people downriver and saved many lives. Even in the rain, fires raged as people ran frantically to hilltops. There, they huddled, and watched as their city washed away. The paper called for rain, some clouds, some wind, some change, but little did we know what was coming. The rain began to fall, a welcome sight for all. We thought the drought would never end. It rained all day that day, the levee soon gave way. The water raged the streets in devastation. The people cried and prayed as houses swept away. It had only just begun. Then the rain became the storm, the flood of 21, taking lives and leaving voices lost, forever gone. All night the siren sounds as building burns in town, the firing rafts of fire near the station. And people call for help, the water's coming in. It had only just begun. The water's coming in, that woman, she can't swim. Is there anybody there who could help her? I live upstairs on Main, my daughter's on the train. What should I do, where should I go? Then the rain became the storm, the flood of 21, taking lives and leaving voices lost, forever gone. Pueblo rebuilt after the flood of 21, but the years following were not easy. The Depression, the Dust Bowl, wars in which Pueblo heroes proved themselves, and changes in industry shaped Pueblo into what it is today. The old neighborhoods are still there, and remnants of days past still exist. Family bars, mom and pop markets, and churches. People still gathered to talk of old times. And Grandma and Grandpa could recall the old country. Those days are missed, when neighborhoods were extensions of family. Oh, the memories of Elm Street are so vivid that they speak, and they tell of a time long ago in Pueblo's past. This Italian neighborhood knew hard times, but life was good. But they knew to survive, they could always rely on themselves. The men labored hard in the mill, making steel for CF&I, while others sent children to school to give them a chance to better advance in a world that gave nothing for free. They knew that they had family. For the people who lived there believed in helping their own. The merchant, the butcher, the tavern, the church, the union, and lodges as well. And in the time of war, their sons were the first to enlist, to fight for this country's liberty and die for the right to exist. Now the years have come and gone, and traditions are still strong, but you still hear them say how they miss the old days long ago. So let's meet at Gus's place, over schooners and Dutch plates. We can each reminisce about those times we miss on Elm Street, when the men labored hard in the mills, making steel for CF&I, while mothers sent children to school to give them a chance to better advance In addition to the steel mill, Pueblo had 5 smelters for melting ore into usable metal. An Eastern European neighborhood sprang up around the Idler's smelter, and eventually the lives of the Bojans, as the Slovenians, Croatians, and Austro-Hungarians were called, took on a rhythm around the 24-hour shifts the smelter demanded. The term Bojan has always been a bit of a mystery. It is said that when these people immigrated through France, the French referred to them as the Bojans, or the beautiful people. No other community uses this term in reference to Eastern Europeans, and there is no place quite like Bojantown. There's a neighborhood in Pueblo that I know, where Slovenians and their families make their home. It's a proud community with rich identity and believe in preserving their own. Their traditions and their culture will remain, for their customs and their culture they retain. For their history is one that is passed down to their young in hopes that they never forget. So come on down to Bojantown. We can meet at Ida's place. Come on down to Bojantown. We can meet face to face. The women of Bojantown still gather to make strudel and also petitsa, a wonderful bread made only in a few places in the United States. Families enjoy telling stories of brides making their procession to St. Mary's Church. Eventually, they tore down the Idler's smelter and used the bricks to build St. Mary's School. Children of the area enjoyed an invented game they called Corks that honed their baseball skills, and baseball became the major pastime. The brewers from Walter's Brewery were their semi-professional team. Taverns were friendly gathering places where people might order a shunka, a ham's beer, but Sundays were for home life and eating homemade noodles. The bells of St. Mary helped to mark the time, and young people knew to head home when the mill's evening whistle blew. Still the bells of St. Mary's ring the call, for their Sundays are for family and for God. So when you are passing by, you will know the reason why they still call this place Bojantown. Come on down to Bojantown. We can meet at Myler's place. Come on down to Bojantown. We can meet face to face. There's a lesson to be learned in this song. culture can remain and still be strong. Just remember who you are, and it will take you far, just like those folks in Bojangtown. So come on down to Bojangtown. We can meet at Tyler's Place. Come on down to Bojangtown. We can meet face to face. Come on down to Bojangtown. We can meet at Tyler's Place. Come on down to Bojangtown. We can meet face to face. What memories we have shared with you today. Pueblo is proud to safeguard its past as we build for the future. We are rich in heritage. We value our past, and we have always persevered. We will be wise to always share our stories, to preserve our buildings, our diversity, our sun, our wind, and water. We, all of us, you and me, we are the peoples of the mountains and plains. The wind will remember us. The sun will watch us build our dreams, and the river will sing our song, the song of Pueblo. We sing tonight. We bring the song of Pueblo, the people's town. In this place that history shaped, we honor Pueblo, the people's town. Oh, to those who came before from different lands and distant shores to live their lives and plant their dreams. We came to Pueblo, the people's town. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the El Pueblo Ensemble. Dr. Michael Beck on piano, Avalon Wiggins on percussion, Wayne Wilkinson on guitar, my comadre and harmony arranger Mireya Arena, on horns and vocals, the ever-famous Carlos Kroll. I am Felicia Gallegos Perez, born and raised in Pueblo. We'd like to thank the CU Boulder Chamber Orchestra for joining us here this evening under the direction of Dr. Renee Gilliland. We are all Pueblo. We are all Pueblo proud. Through the years of strife and tears, they found a way to persevere. We sing tonight. So let